Alright guys, you're seeing some training from Monday, just squats in the video. You'll see sets 1, 2, and 3, and those were the only sets this day. My energy should have been pretty good since the refeed was the day before, but my motivation just wasn't there this day. I was really struggling to get through this, and the plan was to do more sets than this, but I stopped at 3, and now that I'm recording this, I've already recorded a vlog talking about kind of what happened in this training session, so I'm not going to go into too much more detail here. Just wasn't the best day, but it could have been much worse. Intensity was still fairly high as far as percentage of my max goes. The volume was just cut short. I didn't fail any reps or anything, so that was good. And I did do cardio on Sunday. I was away from home on Saturday, so wasn't really able to do anything then. I ran sprints at my local park. I did 8 sprints of about 10 to 12 seconds each, which probably didn't take me very far. It's been a long time since I've run sprints, so I'm sure I was super slow. With about a minute to a minute and a half between them, and then I finished out just walking at a pretty good pace for a total of 25 minutes. I think I ended up going like 27 or 28 minutes, but as long as I keep that pretty consistent, it should be no problem. And I'll also mention that I think that has probably hindered my recovery a little bit, my already hindered recovery because of contest prep and dieting for this long. So that's another reason that my volume was cut short a little bit this day. But I've said it before, it's just necessary at this point. I don't want to add another CNS draining training day. So I decided to add cardio. This is my last set here, and these reps don't really look that slow or difficult, but they felt really hard, especially the last rep. And after the last rep, I knew that I was done with squats this day. And here's a rabbit meal I had when I got home. That's 2 cans of tuna just in water, the cheap kind, and some steamed broccoli and some romaine hearts. And I just tend to munch on those romaine hearts. I don't really know what most people do with them, but I like to do it that way, and everything's topped with plentiful seasonings, lots of garlic and onion powder on pretty much everything right now. And the tuna was a little bit dry, so added some of this mustard I picked up at Winn-Dixie, a southeastern grocery store that I frequent. Here's a meal from later. This is one of those Joseph's wraps. Shout out to Bodybuilding Bros and Kenny Gonzalez and Matty Fusaro. I think they're all using these. Then that's just diced tomatoes mixed with that same mustard that I spread onto it. And then inside this burrito now is the other almost half of that omelet you see there. I just cut it up and put it inside, made a little breakfast burrito, had the rest of the omelet on the side. And then I watched some Last Action Hero on Netflix. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger as Jack Slater. It's a pretty good movie, pretty nostalgic to watch it, so I enjoyed that. The next morning I had a big bowl of oatmeal with a lot of cinnamon. You can kind of see it steaming here. I've been starting and ending my day with oatmeal. It just takes a long time to eat and is really filling, and I like it, so that's what I've been doing. Here's my training from earlier today, just some of my sets of bench. I had 6 sets of 6 today with 205. Was able to complete all 6 sets without any problems. Energy still didn't feel that great today, but bench press just doesn't require as much energy. So I made it through all 6 sets, followed that up with overhead press, and then face pulls alternating with the tricep exercise I've shown in a previous video where I use a racked bar. So fairly low volume on the accessories, but it's just maintenance mode at this point. And I guess I jinxed it in the last video when I said that I haven't felt sore in a while. It's a rare thing, but I felt sore after the last couple of training days, and it's just because of that recovery thing. My recovery is just not where it would normally be since I'm this far into prep. And here's the flavor of coffee I enjoyed at work today. I thought I was completely out of K-Cups, and this K-Cup is from around Christmas time. Found it in the drawer today. Definitely brought up my day at work. Show you some vlogging next.
Alright guys, I had some free time today, so I decided to do a little bit of vlogging. You just saw my upper body training. I didn't film that much of it, but you saw what I did film. And then my post-workout coffee. Not pre-workout, post-workout. I also have some mocha cappuccino flavored whey protein that I'm using right now, so I had that post-workout too, just because that was all I was going to have for a couple hours. So that's pretty good. Not my favorite flavor, but definitely not bad. Anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about my training. At this point in the video, you've already seen my squat session from earlier in the week. Did not go quite as I'd hoped. Had to cut it short, basically. But I know going into each session that I might not be able to complete all of the sets. And the bar speed didn't look that bad when I look back at the clips, but the way I was feeling, I knew that I wasn't going to complete 6 sets, which is the ultimate goal. But I told myself going in that I wanted to get at least 3 sets, and then I would see how I felt at that point and do as many sets of 6 after that as I felt comfortable doing. So I ended up just stopping at 3. But my overall training model is still a DUP model. I'm focusing on hypertrophy early in the week and strength later in the week. I wouldn't say that I really have a power day, but that's the basic setup. Higher reps earlier in the week, lower reps, higher intensity later in the week. And I'm going to link an article in the description box. It's an interview with Dr. Mike Zourdos. Really interesting. I read it earlier today. And it does get a little bit technical, but it's pretty easy to read. And I don't think that it goes off in too many different directions. It's pretty straightforward. But DUP itself does not have to be a separate type of periodization. It's not separate from linear and nonlinear periodization or block periodization, because when you utilize DUP, you are implementing progression. So each week, my volume is going to decrease both days, and my intensity is going to increase both days. So in that way, you can look at it as linear periodization. I just recorded a little bit more, but I'm a little bit loopy due to hunger right now and not enough coffee yet. So I'm just going to cut that short and leave it at DUP, and other types of periodization are not mutually exclusive. I'm going to check out here. Thanks for watching.